You ready?
All right. 6 o'clock, I will now call to order the July 22nd, 2013 meeting of the Easthampton Conservation Commission. All commissioners are present except for Commissioners Buttrick and Jennings with notice. And for the record, this meeting is being recorded. All right. Are there any public concerns or non-agenda items?
He is 35 Northampton Street.
I think I'm probably a non-agenda item.
Okay, well let's...
Well, actually, you're in general business, but we can...
Or general business.
Yeah, we'll hit that.
You just okay. Why don't you grab the sign-in sheet, sign in, and we'll while we have a minute here, we'll move on to meeting minutes because our first hearing is at 6.
Oh, are we still doing the 6:05
I don't
thing?
know. Let me see the agenda.
Yes.
It is listed as 6:05 on this agenda.
Right.
We can switch it back next round.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from July 8th.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
And then we could do very quick on street as well.
We can, because that took about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have a few minutes before River Street, so if you'd like to join us, probably we can introduce yourself.
I'm Mike Owens. I'm the property owner at 35 Northampton Street. Jay stopped by my house yesterday
Okay.
and asked that I come and meet with you this evening about my driveway, I guess. On that little pre-Civil War cottage right next to the bridge.
Pre-Civil War.
Yeah, 1840.
Wow.
When the state did the bridge project, they essentially destroyed my driveway. About 60% of my driveway's gone.
Part of the retaining wall that was up.
Yeah, I mean, I had a timber retaining wall on the riverside. My driveway, my understanding is 35 years ago, the timbers were put in to raise that area and create that driveway.
Okay.
And they're in rough shape, but the bridge project just destroyed the ones on the riverside especially.
Was that part of what they had proposed to do? Had they worked that out with you ahead of time?
No, they didn't work out anything.
Are they going to work out fixing it?
After the fact?
We kind of worked it out in, this was probably mid-May. In probably the end of March, I pointed out to them that they were working well beyond their construction easement.
Okay.
They took a permanent easement, the state took a permanent easement for bank stabilization at the corner of the property, right near the abutment. Then they took another 400 and odd feet for a temporary construction easement. In March, I pointed out to them, hey, they're working way beyond it. So they took an additional easement of another 400 odd feet. So it's about a little under 50% of my property is now a construction easement. They had offered to basically replace what was there. The wooden,
Go back to timbers.
go back to railroad ties. Yeah, railroad ties were in there, which are a terrible solution, especially next to the river. And I didn't really want that. I didn't want timbers used again because I just thought I'm just going to find myself in the same situation a number of years from now. So he said that was fine. I could hire my own contractor, come in and build a fieldstone and granite wall. It's going in the same spot as the old one. No change in the location or the size. I talked to the state engineer today. Now, whether you will agree with this or not, he informed me that anything going on within the easement, the construction easements, falls under their permits.
Even if you're performing the work?
Even if I'm performing the work, because that was my agreement with them. Rather than then put in the timber wall,
Okay.
I would step up, have a contractor come in and put in a stone wall.
So this is essentially you performing their work to kind of like an ad, like
It's an add-on.
taking the contractor's basic and adding on what you want.
Yeah,
Subbing it on himself, essentially.
Right.
Yeah. because I
So,
really didn't want to see timber. And,
Can't blame
my other concern was that, I'm not their focus. I mean, I'm kind of off to the side. I'm not really,
they don't care.
they don't have their eye on, they have their eye on the ball on the bridge,
Yeah, right.
not my wall,
Yeah.
you know? So I have the easement plans, I can show those to you. There are certain areas of the wall that are outside of their easement, basically at the end of my driveway, at the side yard of my house. And whatever the commission needs me to do.
Well, he has erosion controls in place.
I'll look for you guys.
To help,
I guess
mitigate anything.
With the state have you been talking to? Do you remember any names?
Pat is the supervisor of
For
Northern
for
Construction.
Northern, okay.
Yeah, he's the big guy.
Anyone from Mass DOT?
Dan, the resident engineer, Dan was, it's a Polish name.
So here's the complication with regard to the bridge. As of some laws that were passed a few years back, Mass DOT bridge projects and the work associated with their immediate approaches, which is not defined, are exempt from the Wetlands Protection Act, which is the Commission's jurisdiction. So the DOT bridge project didn't require a permit from the Conservation Commission because
That explains a lot of things.
So,
The quality of their erosion
Yeah,
control and
yeah.
That's right.
their
Yeah.
attention to the river. But you know what, again, they've got their eye on the ball, they're on
the
the
bridge
bridge.
is moving along.
Their bridge is their focus.
So it's up, so we need to figure out amongst ourselves.
And overall, they've been good to me. I mean, I could not, some people said to me, go get a lawyer.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna do that because I just didn't want to set an adversarial relationship between me and the contractor.
Right.
When they're in there.
Because they could really make my life difficult for me.
Yeah.
No.
And they've turned out to be great guys, really. I mean, their focus is the bridge, not necessarily me.
Yeah.
But, they haven't ignored
As
it.
long as we're working with it, it's good.
Yeah, they're
So
working with it.
can you show me on the bigger one? Yeah.
This is the first
Okay. Oh, I see.
easement they took. The red is the permanent easement.
This part? Okay.
Yeah, which is property I still own, I just can't.
Right, yeah, they have rights to
They
it.
have rights to it, and I can't put any structures on it except what was
There.
already there,
Like the retaining wall?
which the retaining wall is.
So can you point out where the retaining wall
So-
is? Retaining wall.
Yeah,
Like-
there's mine,
Yeah.
and there's that big, is that the steel one put together? Yeah, this
Yeah,
is,
that's the steel.
this is the steel one.
Yeah.
The I-beams they drilled into the bedrock and formed, and then mine is up here and extends just beyond the end of theirs.
So, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
this is my driveway.
sure.
Driveway, steps down.
Maybe a patio, a little patio here and
Well,
then.
yeah, I have brick next to my house.
They pretty.
So there used to be a lot of water problems in my house because it's a fieldstone foundation.
Okay.
So the brick next to the house is kind of about 5 feet and it just slants off to keep water away from the foundation.
So was the house always a residence, or was it kind of maybe an office associated with the,
Not that I'm aware of, it's always been a residence. Yeah. It was actually abandoned in the 1960s. No one lived there. It was like a ghost house. And then it was rehabbed in, I think, 1974 on the bicentennial. Everyone got excited about historic houses.
okay.
And here's the second easement they took after I pointed out to them in March that they were working well beyond this one. They were way down in here.
They were right up against your house.
Right up against my house, basically.
Oh,
So here's the second one they gave me, and that, that's very
Yeah,
close.
we're working.
Outside your back door.
It's about 5 feet maybe to their easement. Although, when you look at the plans, there's probably about 40 feet of this wall that's outside of that easement, and whatever the commission needs me to do, certainly we'll take care of.
Do we have a scale?
Well, those are just blow-ups, they're just property
Oh,
plans.
there's a scale here.
What is it?
Yeah, sure.
Small scale. Although the plan is stamped everywhere, not the scale. Not the scale proposed, not the scale. Whether they mean the
Put a
easement.
scale on it
The easement is not the scale.
But there's a bar
proposed.
scale.
yeah, here's the scale, but it's not the scale.
Okay,
And maybe
so
they're referring just to the easement areas that are not the scale.
But that's about right, if he's saying this
They
is
didn't
40
send a
feet
survey
here.
throughout,
This is,
basically.
this is about 40 feet,
Yeah.
So that is
Okay.
about right, about 40 feet. That's true.
That's what I estimated. I paced it off too before I came over.
Okay.
And it's basically a straight drop down to the river, correct?
On this side.
Yeah.
It's actually, there's a combination stone and retaining wall over here next to this deck. Am I on the right side here? Yes,
House
on the right
deck.
side. Yeah, the deck
I
is.
mean, I can picture it from having been through the area. So,
When I'm working my way around the house, you're gonna see me again probably either in the fall or in the spring, because I know I have to come and see you about work on the deck
okay.
and the bank stabilization that I have to address on that side of the house.
Are you anywhere near a concept or a plan for that?
Nothing on paper, only in my mind, and
Okay.
it's probably gonna change.
Okay, so so is what's happening within the easement part of the bridge project? Because the impact, basically Mass DOT would have been providing this mitigation
Anyway,
as part of the bridge project anyway. And so I think with that,
yeah, I feel restorative work.
right, it's
He's
not,
just doing it himself instead of.
it's just the owner doing it instead of
And
Mass
as long as he
DOT.
maintains the erosion controls that he has, and,
So,
I'm pretty concerned about erosion control.
oh, yeah, right.
Uh,
Well, you said you had a
Probably
problem.
more concerned about the contractors. So if I lose that bank, then I'm in real trouble.
Right.
Then my costs go through the roof, because then I need to get down to ledge and do what they did.
Tie into it.
Yeah, which is
okay,
tens and tens and tens of thousands of
Right.
dollars.
yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, that would definitely need. So, what's left?
What's left is probably 40 feet of retaining wall.
On the back side of the
yeah,
house.
on the back side of the house, the non-river side. And it basically is the dead end to my driveway.
And that's all essentially as a result of the DOT bridge project?
Yeah.
That wall did suffer a lot of, I mean, they banged on that bedrock for a month and a half.
Okay.
And even though they used a smaller drill, I had to take all the pictures off my
Yeah, right,
walls.
right.
I have some little cracks in my foundation, which I'm not gonna worry about, but no cracks in my sheetrock.
Okay.
But the wall did start to move.
Okay. So, I think as far as I'm concerned, this is all DOT bridge related, and
I mean, I would agree.
as long as it's up to us, we can project.
Yeah, as I move around the house, and I'll be doing that, I've got to kind of, as all it takes is time and money.
Money being the key ingredient.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think with that, unless you start wrapping other things into it,
Okay.
I think we're
Yeah,
good
so
for
when
now.
you do your next deck, then you'll probably have to follow
An RDA.
an RDA for the
Or-
project.
Yeah.
Depending on the scale of the work.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I do have a good idea of what's gonna happen on the
Okay.
non-river side of the house beyond this project.
Okay.
It isn't part of this, but it's probably gonna be sooner rather than later, because I'm working my way around the house.
Okay,
And that is, I figured, hey, let's
Is it
just...
outside this easement area?
It is, yeah. It's at the back of the house, towards number 37.
okay,
The non-river corner in the back has an existing retaining wall made of huge field stones. And what I'd like to do is bring that grade up about, looks like 2.5, 3 feet to have a level side yard.
so you're bringing fill in?
Yes.
Okay, that will definitely require.
Although I know I'm above the 100-year floodplain.
True, but that kind of earthwork
Mhm.
definitely needs to come in. So
Yes.
my advice would be to wrap it all into a single filing to reduce the number of times you have to, if you can put all the ideas in one.
Right, you have to do them all at once. You still have, what is it, 2 or 3 years to do other, 3 years to do other
3 years.
3 years.
You can wrap it into one application. It's easier for you.
And
Yeah.
permits can be extended,
Okay.
so.
And I'd need to get an engineer for that.
Depends on what you determine.
It depends on the scale and
Yeah.
what your comfort level is.
Okay.
And Yeah, I mean, we could always come in again for a pre-application discussion at one of our
Sure.
meetings, and we can talk about it again when you have something more
All right.
defined on paper, and just move forward from there.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cody.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming in.
And I appreciate your time. Good evening.
All right.
Thank you. Mr. Britton, would you care to come to the table? This is the public meeting for determination of applicability, filed by Marcia Britton, represented by Mark Britton, regarding garage replacement project at 29 River Street.
So the proposal is the garage that's there now is rather decrepit. It's amazing that it's actually stayed upright through some of the storms that we've had, some of the water we've had. It's amazing it's still standing. So the structure itself needs to be replaced to begin with. And as we thought about replacing it, one of the ideas, we had already sort of looked at the possibility of raising our residence up higher, but because of the floodplain, it has to go up 10 feet. And it's just one of those things where, okay, that's what the first floor is going to be, and it's just one of those things where that along with the cost, a little too prohibitive to get everyone on board in the family. So when we sort of looked at the garage, the idea came, what if we try to put a second floor on that garage for purposes of storage? As I think you all know, we were pretty weird a couple weeks ago. We had everything pulled out of there, all the boats out, everyone. I mean, it was kind of like a fire sale all down the whole road with the Ronnie Gun Club down there. Everyone was just pulling boats and left and right, trying to get everything out of there. And then, honestly, it didn't get as bad as they sort of projected. But that's kind of what happened. So the current garage that's there, it's a 12 by 16. It's 12 feet high. It's a straight 45 roof. What we're trying to do is put in, also we know we can't change the footprint, anything like that, same 12 by 16. The structure that we are proposing to put there is 16.3 high. And it kind of goes straight up, then it tapers to the 45. So the only difference is just the height, and then the second part would be there's a dormer on the side that would have a landing with stairs coming straight down. So there'd be these stairs, there'll be exterior stairs. The existing structure itself would just be demolished, taken down. It's talked about Quadcom Karting, which is on Loomis Way in Easthampton. They just bring their roll-off dumpster, go in there, and they dispose of it out, wherever they're licensed, how they dispose of it. And then the new structure is actually being prefab made, comes in two sections, comes in on a flatbed with a crane, and it just gets dropped onto there's sonic tubes there. It just gets dropped on, it's bolted to the brackets on there, and the top gets put on, and they go away. So there's no actual construction happening on site.
You don't have to dig anything foundation-wise, you're just going to drop on the existing pad?
On the sonic tubes, yes. And the only thing is that I believe there may be some additional sonic tubes that need to be dug. I think there was a couple that had to be dug to support the stairs.
Okay.
And I don't believe, the rest of it, the sonic tubes are there already on the existing one.
That's good.
And that's sort of the gist from there. I don't know what questions you may have. I can maybe expand more on whatever questions you have.
My question pertains to the flood elevation, roughly. So the existing garage is 12 feet high?
Yes.
So where on that 12 feet is the limit of 100-year flooding, roughly? Do you know? You said you'd have to raise the house 10 feet.
Sure.
So that puts it at about 10 feet above grade?
What you're asking is where that second floor would that second floor be in relation to the 100-year mark?
I just want to make sure that whatever additional height is added is above the limit of the 100-year flood plain, because the way the performance standard for floodplain works under the Wetlands Protection Act has to do with flood storage capacity. So occupying the same footprint is not a big deal. But obviously this is going to be a gross exaggeration, but if you have if you just have like a concrete pad that extends up 2 feet and the floodplain is 6 feet above that, and you want to put a structure in that 6 feet, then that displaces that volume of flood storage. And so I just want to make sure that within that footprint, what you're proposing in terms of additional height is above the limit of existing flood storage capacity, and if it isn't, how much are we talking about, and is it generally considered insignificant?
I understand your question. I believe it's above that mark.
Okay.
I couldn't guarantee it, but once again, based on what we did with looking at the house, and when the engineer came out and did all the things that they did looking at that, and based on that information, I believe the additional 4.3 height is above that mark.
Okay.
If it's not, it's got to be pretty close.
Okay.
Be my understanding of that.
12 times 16 is like 190 something.
Thank you.
It's under 200.
That is insignificant. Okay. I don't have any further questions.
No.
Other than for the excavation for the new sonotubes, that material will be taken away? The soil that comes up? I know it's going to be a nominal amount of soil, but one of the concerns also is that if there's a rain event, that it doesn't wash into the oxbow.
Of course.
So it either needs to be spread around and loamed and seeded, or seeded, or just put in something and haul away.
Okay. I would, obviously, whatever is comfortable with the commission is fine with us. If there was an objection, there's plenty of holes.
Fill the holes.
You can use it to even put some grades.
Yeah, there's lots of, it seems like there's almost a weekly grading that happens on that road.
Gotcha.
It's my understanding that, I know my mother does, I know I know there's a number of people on that road that call frequently and ask about, can they come and fix some of the grading that's on that road. But I mean, we'd be happy to put some of the dirt in some of those holes, if that's okay. Otherwise, we can have it taken off the property.
As long as it's not just left to wash.
Right to wash away.
And then I don't recall discussion of the your sketch. So you're about, I'm doing some really exact scaling right now. So it's about 25 to 30 feet from the water's edge, is that? I'm just basing it off this.
I would say approximately.
So,
depending on what day.
What time?
yeah,
A couple weeks ago, not so much.
normal water elevation.
Yeah, probably.
I guess the only thing that I would add is that an erosion control straw wattle
Okay.
or row of hay bales or something be installed between, a few feet off the back edge of work, and the water, and kind of do it as a bit of an arc so that the ends come up on either side of the work, and that's just when the ground is disturbed, whatever ground disturbance occurs, if there is a rain event before the ground is stabilized, it doesn't wash into the oxbow. With that, I don't have any other questions. Who wants it?
You take it. You want it, Jack?
So, category 2. I'll make a motion to issue a negative determination, category 2, the work described in the request is within an area subject to protection under the Act, but will not remove, fill, dredge, alter that area, therefore the said work does not require filing a notice of intent.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright. We'll do it with the conditions of installing the erosion control and the 48 hours of pre-construction notification.
That's in the minutes, so
Yeah.
do it that way.
Great.
And if you hold on, we can give you the paperwork tonight.
Okay. I can check the category 2
I'll,
box.
thank you. You wanna go?
I will make copies.
Okay, so this is going to be one, two, three copies.
Three copies.
And just for the minutes, you said that any leftover second shower should be regraded or when you see it on site. Is that correct?
Yeah, stabilized on site, or otherwise stabilized on site or removed.
And
Lots of people upstairs.
Maybe we were moved upstairs because you guys are in here.
Ah,
and
and downstairs.
verify that the for your reconstruction we didn't tell them so.
So just at least 48 hours before you begin the demolition and construction activities, just give the commission a call or email. Either one is acceptable because I don't check the email on weekends, I don't know about you.
I don't. I only check it Monday through Friday.
Yeah, same here. But you can reach the commission by phone at the number I can't remember off the top of my head. I think you have the number, 413-282-7092.
Okay. 48 hours before the demolition.
At least.
Call, so that's
Or
when-
once it's scheduled, then you know when it's happening.
Right.
Okay.
And-
Once the erosion control is in, so that we can come out and look at it
Gotcha.
and make sure everything's all set.
And then I recommend keeping a copy of the determination on the site.
Okay.
In files for whatever, in perpetuity, and on the site at the time, so that if anyone questions the work that's being done.
You said 3 total or 3 additional?
Three additional?
Okay.
Is this?
Yes, they should be
Okay.
total.
This is the, I see where the original, this is a,
The original's on the bottom.
okay. Wait.
It's the one with the color on it. It's the one with the color on it.
That's a good point. I'm lazy and I don't walk to the black and white.
This is a good thing.
Okay. So, since this is your mother's property, or
Correct.
your neighbor's, okay. So, you are getting the original and a copy for either you or her files.
Okay.
And this is the rest of this copy. And you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Nice.
coming in.
Thank you.
Anybody wants to see a ski show? Ski show this week, Tuesday, tomorrow night, Thursday night, and then
Really?
Sunday is the tournament for the ski team. So,
What time? And where do people watch that from?
watch it from being on the Northampton side, Old Springfield Road.
Yep.
So if you kind of go either Clap or Fort Hill Road, it'll eventually take you to the site.
How
Still
far from the Great Blue Heron Rookery?
from the where?
The Great Blue
It's
Heron
probably right
Rookery?
there.
Probably, because
Yeah,
there's the building right there. and-
Oh yeah, I think it's just like another half mile down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 7 o'clock-ish on tomorrow and Thursday. Saturday's the individual stuff, which it's kind of maybe boring. But Sunday, 9 o'clock in the morning, there's 4 shows that go consecutive, one after another. So, anyone close by, it's all free. Tomorrow and Thursday's free. They do pass a hat at some point, so
Okay.
it's still free because you don't have to contribute. And there's not people showing where, no, the kids won't tell anyone, they won't know. And, on Sunday, it's probably going to charge $5 a car.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter how many people come.
All right.
And that's only if they have somebody in there collecting. Sometimes we don't have people collecting, so it might be free too on Sunday.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let me just...
Actually, while you're doing that, did you guys happen to read the official letter? I didn't read it. I think I might have sent it out and didn't read it.
I did read it. Why did they, there was no mention of blasting at the Easthampton site, so did they run into something?
They ran into ledge at
Ledge, yeah.
O'Neill.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was right on the street side, wasn't it?
I don't know where,
I believe it was on the street side.
Well, I saw the blasting Monday, I was like, oh, interesting, okay.
Great.
So I figured they must have run into something.
I thought that was in one of the other meetings.
Oh, yeah?
That was the
Wasn't in the
second
notes.
thing.
He
Yeah.
mentioned it, and then a week later they blasted.
Okay.
And, it was right along O'Neill Street.
So So, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I've got,
Right, well, the next one was the fish ladder, which you can't participate in, so.
so why don't you guys talk about that while I'm doing my thing?
Yeah, you could talk about the fish ladder. And
I didn't make.
I didn't read it, that's the thing. I forwarded it from the commission site, but.
But it looks like they haven't done anything since doing the erosions that you had looked at.
Okay, so
When I was
there's
there, I was there Sunday, and just looked like nothing had really changed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back on. I think it's somewhere.
It was last Thursday, so I think
It
you
just
might.
didn't look like anything
You didn't
changed.
see it,
Yeah.
of course. The project manager from Time Bond sent it to the
I did see
four of
that.
us. Yeah, you weren't on the one he sent to us directly. He sent it to the
Okay,
commission.
good. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
difference.
And then he sent the same thing to us individually.
I feel like they started putting in sandbags for
There's
check
things
dam.
on the in front of the Crawford Dam, whatever it is. They did something on top.
Yeah. And I think
But
that was
they
about
didn't see
it.
any forms or anything. That's what they said they're going to do next is work on forms.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I had to see you sitting at the head chair. It's practically, I could take a picture now.
No.
We're being recorded,
We're being
though.
recorded, so that might not be You can watch her on live television later on.
No kidding. Is that all the time now?
If we remember.
And when does it get displayed? Whenever?
Whatever they're playing on the television.
Yeah.
On the
It's
community
not
access.
Pardon?
We just turned it on. So,
Yeah.
You don't know
Probably
what
the city clerk does that all, I imagine, because it's a.
no, it's gonna be the TV folks.
Oh, really?
Well, we had a meeting in here a couple weeks ago, and we saw the whole setup, and we were like, maybe we should, just to be smart Alex, but we did not. How's everything going? Good?
Good, yeah.
Busy agenda?
Finally. Yeah, no, we had a couple busy weeks and then kind of quieted down a bit.
Yeah. When did Kelly actually step down?
Just 2 meetings ago.
Yeah.
Just 2 meetings ago.
Yeah,
I just
months
heard,
ago.
like a couple weeks ago. I didn't think that was possible. But
I know.
a very good successor.
Oh, thank you. We'll see.
No, you have no choice, right?
She really didn't, yeah. We directed her right in.
We're good. We're good.
All right, good
It's
seeing you.
nice seeing you, Gary. All right, so let's play some, or is there more fish ladder stuff that
Prior week ending 7/15, received the approval. So no, they didn't do anything. They're just saying anticipated work will be completion of ledge removal and starting and so on.
Yeah.
So that's just, they just basically said they didn't do anything.
So there are also 2 weeks' worth of weekly construction reports, 2 from Jillian Estate, Artska, and 2 from Easthampton Savings Bank. We all got them by email, so I'm
Yep.
just planning on filing them. So, catch up. Did everyone get a copy, a PDF of the notice of intent filed by Pascomic Trust regarding the Paul Street, Branch Ave,
Yes.
Paul Street Extension property? Okay.
You saw it.
No, okay.
I might have video mystics at the vacation, so I'll check for my stuff.
That
Doesn't ring a
came,
bell from you all.
that came soon after our last meeting.
It did, it did,
Almost a
and
full 2 weeks ago.
I must have it then. I think it's on the commission site too.
and it came in time for the
Like
August.
7/11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came right after, like a couple days after the submittal deadline for this meeting.
Okay.
So it is on the agenda for the August 12th meeting. I need to keep 2 copies for the file, but I have 1 spare copy. Anyone wants
I
it?
have it.
You have it?
So
You-
keep it.
I'll take it, just because I don't know where mine is.
So this is... Okay, so... So there's that.
there a Pleasant Street Mill update by any chance? Jerry's not here, but is there any work happening over there?
I don't know. Jerry's kind of the eyes on the ground for that one.
Okay.
So that I don't know. There may or may not in the future be something for a parcel of land on Nipfer, which is kind of over in New City. It's a parcel of land that was subdivided. The work that they're proposing is outside the buffer zone of an intermittent stream or a channel that is non-jurisdictional. But we'd have to revisit their wetlands evaluation if they propose work closer
How do you
to it.
spell that?
K-N-I-P-F-E-R.
Street?
F.
Ave.
Duh.
And... What
I
about
have to
it?
ask the question. It's just a potential building lot that falls within the commission's jurisdiction. Other things that might be coming before us pertain to 88 Torrey, T-O-R-R-E-Y
Yeah, that was
Street.
on last... Yeah, we don't have that on last minutes.
Okay. They may be filing to determine resource area status
Yeah, you need to do it. I know I was required for that.
unless they adequately document
Okay.
no flow in the stream. And then another one that Jessica contacted me about July 11th or so pertains to property at 11 Clap, 2 Ps Street. So it's kind of this upland, the house was built on an upland island or so. It's kind of surrounded by streams and wetlands. So I don't know what's being proposed, but that may come before the commission.
Well, what's happening? Are they going to do it in addition to everything? Or upgrade?
Let me check the email. They did get an order of conditions when it was constructed in '98, which is always a step in the right direction. Something about livestock, raising livestock. That's about how I know. So, 32 Cottage Street a while ago. This seems to come up and go away every couple of years. A few years back, it was improving the back patio. I think this is the property, part of the property where Popcorn Noir is situated. And I don't believe Popcorn Noir is the property owner. I believe they're just an occupant.
Okay.
At first it was an underground storage tank removal, then it was improvements to the back patio, and now, most recently there was something about removing some trees that are leaning right on the bank of the pond, but leaning over
Yeah,
the
they're pretty messy back there.
building.
Yeah.
And I inquired of Jessica as to whether or not there had been anything happening. I feel like that's kind of front and center, but that there doesn't seem to be any follow-up on the
Okay.
end of property owners.
Yeah.
So the trees have been removed?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
But just kind of wondering about procedure. I'd rather not do things as enforcement,
Yeah.
especially when it involves the removal of big trees.
But
So, does anyone, I mean,
Popcorn Noir does not own
I don't
the
believe
area
so.
in question? I'll look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you. And then I think that's it. Anything? Just one other thing I wanted to mention, and I'm not sure how Northampton, 35 Northampton Street got to coming in here, but I wanted to thank you both. You brought it up at the last meeting, and Jay
Yeah, I went there during the
followed
week
up.
and no one was around, so I went on Sunday and him and his, I think, friend Roger were out there working on it, so they're very cooperative, so.
And I really appreciate that, because there's no way I'm going to be able to
Yeah.
do things the way Kelly did.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
You know, if you see something, you know, somehow become the point person for it, and
Yeah, no problem.
No problems.
so with that, do we want to try to schedule a site visit prior to the August 12th meeting for Scomic Trust's
I think we should.
or should we wait until that meeting and try to schedule it then, in the event that there's anyone from the public interested in the
Yeah,
project
that's
who
probably-
shows up to
Yeah.
the meeting?
Right, that's the issue.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so we will schedule a site visit at that meeting. and-
After the meeting, yeah.
That way hopefully Dan and Jerry can be here.
Yeah.
Part of that too.
And is this just for the trails that are gonna go around?
Trails, ball
Okay.
bridges.
Yeah, okay.
I think a little lookout they want to make.
Right.
It's right in line with what they talked about
That's
the
right.
time they were here. It's,
Yeah, there should need to be no change in, I think it's the exact same narrative that they
Yeah.
distributed.
yeah. I'm just curious to see. It seems like a challenging terrain, to say the least, so.
All right, then I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.